Beyond the Tape, weekdays at 5:30 p.m.
Beyond the Tape will be back after these messages.
Imagine country living with modern amenities. Welcome to Buakanu Park by DG Homes. Make your dream come true. Call 721-9186 or 379-8990.
Farmers, fishermen, and agri-entrepreneurs, the Agricultural Development Bank is offering its flagstaff product, the New Reality Loan. Get up to 80% financing for any viable business in agro-processing, agri-services, fishing, or farming. The New Reality Loan can assist with business startup, expansion, debt consolidation, equipment purchase, and much more. Visit one of our locations at San Fernando, Chaguanas, Sandy Grande, Port of Spain, and Tobago. Agricultural Development Bank, growing stronger together.
You are dearer to me than all the stars. So many wish but never reach. 'Cause when I'm falling and all the world seems dark, you help me find my peace. Oshun mi ba fishani. Oshun mi ba yeah. Oshun mi ba fishani. Arubita yeah 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 yeah.
A very special good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to the Jab Show. I'm Marlon Hopkins. A special good afternoon to all of our friends abroad, in the US, in the UK, in the Caribbean, in the Middle East, in Canada. It's a while we haven't heard from you all. So it's going to be good if we hear from you all anytime very, very soon. What is this gentleman doing?
What?
Jab. Look the jab. Look, on the other side of the plexi. Watch how the plexi shaking. Watch.
I was below there,
Don't shake that too much, you know. All right? Superintendent Roger D. Alexander.
I was trying to find myself.
All right. Well, what I can tell you, one of the big stories of today, it concerns the situation in the United States where Derek Chauvin has been sentenced to 22.5 years for the murder of George Floyd. So that ruling was handed down a short while ago, earlier this afternoon. And what I will say is that it is the first time since this incident happened that we have seen some sort of remorse from the officer. And it's the first time I am seeing him as a human, right? Because before we never heard of him. All we saw of him was him
Straight
kneeling
face.
on Mr. Floyd's neck. So that's what we saw of him. And today, after the sentence was handed down, he apologized to the Floyd family. And he also said that he couldn't say too much at this time, but in the very near future, additional information would be released, which would be of interest to the Floyd family.
I wonder what that means.
Well, I suspect he doesn't want anything. But I somehow I feel there is more to this matter to come.
Okay.
So I feel that he fears it may prejudice something.
Okay.
All right?
Unless he plans to support the initiative in the United States that, with respect to how they look at policing,
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
See how it goes.
His mother also gave, what should I call it? Not a recommendation, but she also spoke in favor of him and was saying, well, the person that he has been perceived to be in the media, he's not that person. He's a good man. He's a man who loves his family. And she even said, well, if you sentence him, you are going to be sentencing me, meaning her. And she says that she called for leniency, and she also said that the next time that her son would be free, she may not be here to witness that, because she believes that his parents would die, including herself. So she called for leniency. So you have this 22.5 year sentence for Derek Chauvin.
Well, okay then. Alan policing, Policing.
Yeah.
And the seconds,
Back at home,
The seconds.
let's deal with the situation that we have been dealing with for over a year now. There are 346 new positive cases of COVID
And stop
in
there,
this
man.
country.
Man, you see what I'm talking about every day?
Yeah.
I don't think we are in a position to even start to celebrate. And look how much persons have been,
Struck down.
you see?
Incidentally, there are 16 new deaths.
This is no reason to start to even think normal enough. Until we get those numbers back into the 40s and 30-something and 20-something, there's no reason to celebrate. There's no reason to. You seen down the road, Marlon? You seen anything?
These numbers are worrying to
Yeah,
me.
I'm not seeing the light at the end of no tunnel here.
These numbers are worrying to me. You remember, sir, you were right here, standing at the side of me, when I expressed horror over 50 COVID deaths. I remember when it reached 50 COVID deaths in Trinidad and Tobago, and I was upset.
Yeah.
It troubled me. I was horrified by it.
And then
And
the next
now
couple days-
we are looking at 791 deaths. 791 persons who
almost
would have died
800.
from COVID. Yeah. So, yes, the authorities have been doing what they can do, but I know that we do have a responsibility. We as citizens, we do still have a responsibility to keep these numbers down. And it also tells me that if the numbers are continuing to rise, it means that the majority of us are not doing what we should do.
Right.
And that is worrisome.
And here's the question, Marlon. The question is, who have the greatest responsibility in this fight? Is it the government of the day or the citizens?
These citizens from day
And
one.
you know, sometimes they are thinking that it is the responsibility of the government to make things work here. You know?
Yeah.
When you know what you're supposed to do, because persons are saying now, just like you see like how you have, you get two jabs. And
I'm the only jab on this program
Right.
today. In the next few weeks now, oh gosh,
Listen,
man.
listen. I just had to take this in slow.
Calm yourself now, man.
I had to
Calm
take this in
yourself.
slow, you know. You as the media man, right? The media man, right? And you received two?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Hold on,
Yes.
let me make this thing enter my element. Hold on. Right. So, persons are thinking that from the time they get the two jabs,
Yes.
they can start to run about you.
Not at all. That doesn't mean that at all. It doesn't mean that at all.
And then they are looking at some well, if you want to call it international conflicts, because now there are some countries who say if you get jab with this type of,
You can't enter.
you can't enter here, and if you get that one, you can't. Boy, I tell you, this thing is here to stay for a while.
Apparently it is.
So then,
sadly
you know what I'm
to say,
asking?
apparently it is.
So if you took a jab of the one of those that is not recognized, do you have to try to get the two more jabs of the ones that you could enter with?
Well, if a country says we do not recognize this,
Then
in order to enter
you have
the,
to-
the,
so
the
that two
people's
extra then.
country, you have to get another jab or another 2 jabs.
Or just stay home?
But you know, I feel that is something that maybe needs to be discussed.
Yeah,
I don't know,
conversation,
maybe at the United Nations or some other type of meeting
Yeah,
where
international
leaders can sit down and discuss the science of this instead of what may be a knee-jerk reaction, what may be a level of fear that they should not have. But, I mean,
That is plenty
we
things going on there.
we know that these vaccines are not available to a number of countries.
So then, some of the persons in these countries who get in the vaccination will have to take what they get.
Yeah,
Then
we have to
how
take
does
what we
that
get,
affect
you know.
them leaving here then?
We have to
And
take
then
what
you
we
see
get.
the other thing is persons might start to lie about which vaccination that they got.
Of course.
Some of them will say they didn't receive any in order to leave to go somewhere. But then all of this thing could go all or anyhow. That is plenty things happening there on the spot.
And you know, and this is something that we have spoken about, and persons have already started doing this, in that they're telling you that if you have to participate in this event, walk with your immunization
Yeah.
card, you know.
Yeah. Well, let me.
Otherwise, you cannot participate in this event. This is for the fully vaccinated. You see over here?
Yeah.
But this is for the fully vaccinated. You can't come over here, you know. You can't come. Sorry. 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 Not even if you not even if you get a recommendation, you know. You could come over here. Not even if I get a WhatsApp right now, you can't come over here. This is
Had we known this?
hallowed space.
Listen, had we known this, you and your colleagues would have been first responders with respect to this 19. I just let you know.
Let me tell you, you know, I always compare the police service and members of the media.
Yeah.
And we are a bit similar, you know, in the work that we do. Because when something happens, it is expected that you all run to it. It is also expected that we run to it and not run away from it.
Okay.
So it is in that respect. We
So
are
since
similar.
since you're on the topic, Marlon Hopkins, let me
Yes.
ask you something. You being a police officer, right? Let's say, you know, the commissioner had deputized who wants to investigate a certain haircut around here. Right? I'm just telling you, right? So, if you're a police officer, and you're out there on duty, and you stop an individual, and it's, for some reason, he might have done something, and you stop him. And on checking, you have on the mask and everything, and then you say,
Yeah.
sorry, sir, sorry. And you ask him, you okay, sir? And when you look inside the car, you observe he has something illegal in the car. Where do you go from here, Marlon Hopkinson?
There is only one option, sir.
Tell me that option.
You have to arrest that person. You're going to let him go?
No, I'm just asking you.
Oh,
So you might not be in a position to check to see if his temperature is above normal. That's all. You don't know if that man is carrying the virus or a stage of the virus that you could contract it at a moment's notice. But you have to execute your duty. How do you do that? Are you fearful? Would you be?
well, I don't know fearful.
Yeah, how do you approach that situation
Well, you must take all precautions.
What precautions can you take? Let's go. Let's do
Well,
that this evening.
it may require a mask. It may require
All
double
right,
masking.
listen.
It
I'm
may
already,
require,
wait. I already have on my mask.
right?
And then I have my glove.
Okay,
So I'm about to arrest this man.
right?
And then this man starts to fight up.
Uh-huh.
So it would cause me now to perform certain
Okay.
skills, right?
Yes.
That might cause me, he could be either here, there, or anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? So tell me.
Well, if you have a taser, you can use the taser.
Right.
But if you
But
don't
then
have
even
that,
if you tase him, don't you still have to physically restrain him?
of course, but that is the risk, sir.
Are you willing to take that risk, Mr.
Well,
Marlon?
I would, if I'm a
And
police
be honest,
officer,
eh?
sir,
Be
if
honest,
I'm a
eh?
police officer, sir,
Right.
you're going to have to take the risk.
All right. Let me ask you another question then. Since you say you have to, so you're a media man, you're going home, someone confronts an individual that you know, an elderly lady, and struggling to turn the road, and you're approaching the scene, and you call out to the gentleman, hey, leave the lady alone, and you realize all that is happening. And the same circumstances exist.
Yeah.
What you going to do, Marlon Hopkinson?
Don't put me in that one now. That one kind of.
Don't put him in that one.
Don't put
Marlon,
me in that
don't put
that
him
one.
in
Kind
one.
of strange. That one could be end up strange.
It could end up strange.
Yeah. Because next thing you know, you want to run
Yeah,
towards
he's
me.
coming
and,
towards you and all kind of thing.
you know, so let me
And he's
get out
coughing in
of
slow motion, eh?
yeah, let me get out
Yeah.
of that one.
Well, I just tell you that.
Let me get a neo.
Marlon, let me tell you this. We can jump high, we can jump low. We can run fast, we can run slow. We will always be at risk with respect to the COVID-19.
You know, the pandemic is having a toll on persons.
Everybody.
Not only on persons physically, but mentally.
Yeah.
And you have been discussing that over the past year or so,
Yeah.
about the impact it is having on persons and police officers
Law
would have.
enforcement officers too.
Yeah, and
Their attitudes, yeah.
and how there has been no rest
Yeah.
over that year and something. And that is a serious concern. Eh?
Yeah.
I mean, even us in the media,
Yeah.
we, including me, I have been feeling that sort of drain
Yeah.
and
They haven't
fatigue.
been-
Eh?
It's like total fatigue.
Yeah,
It's not just
yeah.
the fatigue. It reaches a stage where you're totally fatigued.
You know, and I had to take a decision today because I just was feeling out of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to put it too seriously, but it's like you're feeling that you're overwhelmed,
Right.
you know, and sometimes you just have to take the position, look, I just need a little rest.
Yeah. And persons thinking when I said the other day that officers, you see sometimes officers lashing out both at the work
Yeah.
and sometimes at the home. And you think it's an excuse, but you never know, you know. You could think it's an excuse, but you don't know what we have been through for the last 2 years.
It's a society under
Yeah.
pressure.
It is.
That's what we are.
It
A
is.
society under
So
pressure.
sometimes you see, you try to, and as a leader in the police service, you try to reach out to persons because sometimes you see it. And
Yeah.
you know that the individual does not act or behave like that. So
Yeah.
you try to reach out to him and say, hey, what's going on? Not that you don't know, but sometimes you want him to tell you. It is not an excuse, it's just reality.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's where we are.
And while we're speaking about the COVID, I see that officers of the 7th Division, they had to intervene today because of a large public gathering
Yeah.
that arose from a hamper distribution drive at the South Park Plaza in San Fernando.
And I thought when I first saw it, I thought it was
For vaccines.
yeah, I thought it was for vaccines. Only to realize after that it was not the case. So, but hampers.
We're seeing some social distancing, but
Yeah.
I suspect the persons who are close together,
Yeah.
yeah, but maybe they are family members.
Yeah.
I suspect so.
Everybody from the same household.
Yeah, but you're seeing the level of social distancing, but again, sir, when you are having events like these, you need to police it. And I don't necessarily mean the police.
Yeah,
I
you
mean
have
the
yourself.
organizers.
Yeah.
All right? Because you don't want this dark cloud to overshadow
Yeah.
what you are trying to do. And what these persons
good
were really trying to
intentions,
do,
good purpose,
yeah, is to help persons
fall
in this
apart
society. Yeah.
as a result of what persons see. And you know the social media love to destroy everything.
Yeah.
So your intentions might have been good, but at the end of the day, when persons see that type of thing, nobody was talking about the hamper driving.
Yes.
It was about what they was observing at the time. And I was saying, whoa. Because some of the video captured distancing, and there are some persons who are really clustered together like this.
Yes.
So, having said that, Madam Francis, I hope we do better on the next occasion.
But maybe the organizers of these events, they need to be more specific. So if you're saying you are giving a hamper, one hamper per family, then one individual must come from a family and not make it a family outing where you gather everyone and you come out.
But how you could be sure? You could never be sure because they are going to, I remember my friends up in the East, the Terry and others, they were keeping a hamper drive. And
Yeah.
A man bought a lady, and the lady looks like she didn't know the gentleman, and he was saying that this is a particular individual, his grandmother, and the lady didn't know the gentleman. So you know, it's always some underhand ratchy thing you're going to try.
But everything must be single file. No crowds. All right? Okay, let's see what is happening here. We're seeing someone driving a forklift. And there's a vehicle in the air. I don't think that he's finished.
Yeah. Wait for it. You think Ramlal hungry? Because he's pretty angry there.
He's still not finished. He's lining up.
Yes. That's the company's record.
I'm not sure.
Is it? The company's record? So where you carry?
Well, look. There's going to be... It's not over yet, you know. We still have to wait for the big bang.
There's a big bang to come?
The big bang is about to come. The forklift is on its side.
And where are the occupants? Oh, look, the occupant there?
Yes, that's the forklift driver. All right.
What did he say?
He said that he can buy 1,000 of that.
Oh, well, all right. Well, then, before you buy the 1,000, you might have to go by the station first. Eh? You might have that 10 quart first, eh? Before you buy 1,000. Eh? You maliciously damaged the man's vehicle. And there's a story on the social media, I don't want to believe it.
What? What?
They're saying some kind of cattle action is involved.
Cattle action?
Yeah.
Concerning what? This matter?
Yeah. I would say, it's social media to sell kind of thing. You know it's cattle action, Marlon?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. We need to go for a break, Mr. Jackie, what time? It's not for TV.
Apparently it is not for TV.
No, it's not for TV. But it's a cattle action, they say.
All right.
Because, you know, they have to put some spin to it.
Yeah, all right. Let's move away from this one.
Yeah, the cattle
Let's go
action.
to the Northern Division where 4 persons have been arrested and charged for selling a box with tiles purporting to be a PlayStation. All right.
Yeah.
A box of tiles.
PlayStation 4.
It's coming in tile form.
Yeah. PlayStation 4. A box of tiles. If some of these youth use their innovative skills for learning and development, we'll have a brighter society. But when you put 4 tiles in a box and sell an individual, that speaks volumes for you and your ability to catch a foolish man. Because if you, anybody who thinks about it, you could check to see the dimension of the box. Open your product and examine it before you give your money away. I don't think we should be telling our Trinidadians start stealing. I think that should be judicial notice. But then again, anything could happen here. Everybody was asking why the officer, why the police officer resigned, asked to leave the police service in such a hurry, in a haste. Well, as I said before, after a particular action took place and an investigation was launched, the officer saw it fit better he leave than to have to answer a query, one that he may not be able to answer successfully. So, again, Marlon, I don't want to really put this into the mix, but it comes back to what we were just having a conversation about, and sometimes the level of frustration that is placed on the shoulders of the officer in this pandemic.
Yeah.
And that has been real, honest. So, let us hear why the officer had to resign. This is why.
Watch Trinese, right? All your inside whole weekend, but filling up gas station to full gas to go away. All your Trinese.
And go back to the video, man. Go back to the, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Sometimes just go back to where he was there. Where he was shooting. Yeah. Look at the, right, stop right there.
The stripe.
You notice this?
The blue stripe. The blue stripe. The blue stripe.
Had it not been. My God. But listen, at the end of the day, if the officer saw it fit to do that, he did exactly what we felt. No. Was that necessary? No. Because sometimes all you have to do is come and perform your duty and go home. Yeah? Nothing else is required, really. But that's on you. Well, I don't know. What do you think? What is your opinion based on that?
What I think? Let me put this on the plate, right? Officers have been dealing with this situation for over a year now. Some officers have died because of COVID. Officers are being told on a daily basis that they have to go out there
and continue
the
to
fight
perform the duties.
and mix with persons who may be acting in a delinquent way and are not listening to the police officers. A number of things, and I return to my statement where I'm saying that everyone is under pressure, and I'm not defending anything. I'm just saying that when we make a decision, that everything needs to be taken into consideration. All right? I'm not saying what is right. I'm not saying what is wrong. The police service expects what may be called a more appropriate behavior from its officers, I have no quarrel with that. But I'm just saying that the entire picture needs to be looked at. On mine? All right. All right, so here's what. Let me just do the numbers and we'll go. All right?
And buzz out of here.
Yeah, let's buzz out of here. All right? Let's remind persons of our numbers 623-1711. The extensions are 1992, 1993, 1996, and 1997. You can text the Special Operations Response Team at 485-9302, and you can text the Police Commissioner at 482-4279. We are going to a very, very, very short break. We're coming back.
Imagine country living with modern amenities. Welcome to Bwakanu Park by DG Homes. Make your dream come true. Call 721-9186 or 379-8990.
It's a good time to subscribe to the Trinidad Express newspapers. During these times, our newspapers are available to you wherever you are. Subscribe today and get 33% off your print subscription with delivery to your doorstep. No need to leave your home when your newspaper is coming to you. If you're a smart device lover, sign up today and get full access to the e-paper on all your devices. Visit digital.trinidadexpress.com or download the app today. The Trinidad Express newspapers continues to provide credible news, business stories, features, SCA practice tests, puzzles, and more, all to keep you occupied. So what are you waiting for? Call us today and subscribe to The Express, the national newspaper of Trinidad and Tobago.
I am Joanne Archie, Deputy Commissioner of Police. This is a trying time for the men and women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. As the premier frontline agency during this COVID-19 pandemic, we have not escaped the virus. A number of men and women have fallen victim to the virus and hundreds were quarantined. But this has not stopped the majority to continue to serve the public and keep the country safe. Remember, wash your hands, socially distance, and sanitize. We are all in this together. Remember to wear your mask.
And welcome back.
After all of this,
Yeah.
After all of this, I am saying this openly, and might be before the end of all of this, the police service needs to do a day of prayer, and also to counsel these officers.
Yeah.
All because we have seen it all, We have seen it all. And the strange thing is that some officers came into the service to see it all, Long time you used to see it all after some years. But some persons, on their arrival, they are treated with it almost immediately. See? So probably we need to do some counseling and stuff, because I am seeing the officers really going down a particular road, and the public probably don't know the level of frustration and stress that is placed on our shoulder. We try to hold, and that's why we try to hold the young officers for them to have a better understanding of this is how it is. Yeah? It's not always a bed of roses.
You're seeing that tension across the country.
Yeah.
The way that we drive.
Yeah.
The way that we speak to one another.
How we communicate.
This level of impatience, frustration. So we're seeing it all over the place. Let's take a call. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good afternoon,
Yes,
Marlon.
sir.
Afternoon, Mr. Alexander.
Yes, sir.
I have two quick contributions to make today. First of all, one is in regards to certificate of character. Do you have any information? I know you probably heard this before previous questions, but my thing is, we talk about intelligence in the police service, and you give this impression that you guys are up there in technology. However, I am still able to go to that TTPS website and book a certificate of character, and have confirmation rather than, just a simple adjustment to your website saying, hey, this page is no longer available. This booking of this certificate of character led into an incident with me in the Woodbrook police station. I want you guys to understand there's a lot of companies are still hiring. There's companies that are essential, and there's companies that are not essential. People are still hiring. And part of the prerequisite is to have this certificate of character. People need to get on with their lives. And I am thinking, especially citizens who are law-abiding citizens, they have no form of criminal record, just to get a paper to say none. I think that should be something that should be easily generated on your website, especially if you have 0 convictions. I have been home almost a year from a cruise ship, and because of this extended time being off the ship, this is a prerequisite for me to go back to work. And because of this simple little paper, I can't go to something that I love doing. And I find it very unfair boasting about the technology we had. So on to my other scenario, got the booking for Woodbrook Police Station. I was in the company of my canine, a well-trained canine. I don't go to Port of Spain and walk the streets without my trained dog, for obvious reasons. Even yesterday, I was looking at your program, and you made the comment, if there was a bow wow in that yard, that might be a deterrent. I went to Woodbrook Police Station. I made a choice to take my dog out of the car because of the parking availability. It was sweltering heat. So I took my dog out of the car, and I proceeded to the Woodbrook Police Station, and I have gone in police stations with him before. By the time I got to the first step of the compound, not in the station, I was greeted with, "Don't come in here with this dog. Where you coming in here with that dog for?" And I was simply going to inquire about information. The question to you, Sergeant Andrew Alexander, didn't TTPS partner with Animals Are Human too in 2019? And they talked about if you overheat, if you mistreat an animal, what is going to happen to this person? That was passed and that was set in stone. And here I am with my trained canine just going in a police station who has a canine unit, and they behave as though they saw an elephant. And that was a ticket to be so disrespectful to me, up until making me feel like a criminal, which they demanded my ID when I started to countermeasure. And I said, "Sir, me having a canine is not a ticket or a pass card for you to speak to me like that. What about good morning? I'm a law-abiding citizen." So it was a real spectacle in that Woodbrook police station, all because I had a trained canine with me. They behaved as though they saw a dinosaur. I would love to hear your feedback on this, okay? Have a great day, and I enjoy your program.
Thanks for your call. Appreciate your call. Let me go behind the canine first, right?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Madam, first of all, I think we might have heard. I will tell you why. Sometime earlier last year, just about the August, a lady went to a station with a dog. But this dog was really the eyes of the lady.
Right, the lady was visually impaired.
Yeah, and I had to interject and tell the officer, I said, no, first sometimes you assess a situation before you pronounce on it. Because when I realized, I was outside in the car, and I realized when the lady came, the dog was sitting in the back seat of the car, and she came out, she feeled her way around, opened the door, and then the dog came out. And the dog stood there, and she held onto the dog in a particular way. So when she went up there, I realized early, they met her by the door, and there was an exchange, a conversation, and then I approached the officer. I said, "Listen, let me see a minute now," because I didn't want to tell him in front of the lady. I said, "Ma'am, just hold a second, please." And she had her dog sitting right next to her. And I said, "Listen, you assess the situation." They realized that dog is part of the lady. Right. And we have to learn how to understand people. Everybody from different walks of life will enter the station, so we have to accommodate everybody, yeah? The dog is offering no threat to you, yeah? And the dog and them is properly trained. The dog entered the station, Marlon, hear what I'm telling you, and sat like this while the lady was trying to explain what was happening to her. So I understand what you said. I think sometimes when I say we heard or something personal, say, well, how come Alexander could say that? sometimes we have to understand what is happening around us.
All it may have taken
All it is a good
to
conversation.
stop that situation or to stop the gentleman in his tracks is to say, the officer should have said, sir, can I help you?
Yeah, early.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And you all would have had, you know, a reasonable discussion.
Right.
Than instead of, hey, wait, you can't come in here with that. They are totally different things. Go ahead, the COC.
And then also speaking to the dog, the same dog thing. Remember, we are telling persons that they cannot ill-treat the dog because we were putting together a unit for that purpose.
You can't leave a dog in a hot vehicle.
Right. And as for the CFC, someone even asked today, Alexander applied for a CFC since February. When I finally get that CFC, is it still going to be valid? And I said to him, well, everybody is out. The licensing office is out, everybody's out. The police service started back the CFC situation, but then we had to shut it down again because persons were contracting the virus. You see? And it's a close contact, it's relatively close, Marlon, where we do this thing. I might have to take your hands if the machines and them are working. So I must come into contact with you. Yeah, so we had to shut it down again because for good cause, sir, and if you look at it, even today we had to bury another officer.
Yes.
So while we are hearing all this thing, we also need to protect ourselves.
Of course.
Persons want us to treat with your situation. I hear you and I understand, but at the end of the day, we have to protect our officers and ourselves. If we don't protect ourselves, we can't serve you, you know.
Of course. However, there has to be an alternative. So what you're telling persons to do. So you're testing people for temperature.
Yeah.
That could be an option. As they get into the police station, they wash their hands
but Marlon,
with soap water.
Hold on.
And you tell them, well, here's what, you need to double mask and also come with a shield.
Right. But Hopkins, sir,
you just can't say, well, because of the pandemic, this service is suspended indefinitely.
Why we can't say that?
You can't say that. You
Marlon,
can't
the
say that
licensing
this
office is
service.
closed.
Well, but you can't. Well, no one can take that position.
Kind of pressure put
There has to be a continuation of service. Have you not heard here and abroad persons say that we have to live with the pandemic?
Yes, Marlon.
We can't just shut down everything?
Yes, Marlon, I hear you.
Shut down with everything.
But Marlon, when it becomes a little easier in terms of the numbers, then we'll be able to maneuver, you know. Because listen, we started back that project during the pandemic, you know, and had to shut it down again.
And you all should be credited for that.
Well, thanks.
However, what do we do in the meantime?
Thank you very much.
What do we do in the meantime?
Marlon, in the meantime, the officers must stay alive.
All right, so here's what. So do we put a piece of plexi like that and have the machine on one side and we have a hole here? All right? And you have the gentleman put his hand here, something like that?
Marlon, if the machines are working, I could understand, but sometimes the machines are out. And let me also say this, Marlon. Marlon, persons, anybody
we have a caller.
We know. Anybody who had this virus will tell you, very rare, they have this thing called fever during the day. You know? Most of the effects from persons who spoke to us about the 19, they had problems in the night, you know, or late evening. So somebody coming and you testing them for temperature and all of that don't say anything?
What I will say, sir, is that I understand the pain.
I understand the pain too.
I understand the service
I understand the service
is
too.
providing.
I'm here.
But I also understand that we just can't shut
How much
down
of
everything.
us? How much of us?
There have to be
How much
options.
of us?
There have to be options.
Civilian willing to come and take the certificate of character of other citizens when they're not sure of the condition. Tell me.
Well, as I say, there has to be.
Malala, I'll sign up for Sawa Monday, you know?
There has to be.
Are you willing to go to the San Juan police station as of Monday?
Is there a policy?
Huh?
Is there a policy?
You didn't answer the question. You two job, you know? Good evening, caller. Wait, caller. Because by you, since you get two jobs, you want to go Sawa?
Caller, good evening.
Good
afternoon.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good afternoon. I just have congratulations on a really informative, entertaining show. I just have one question. This weekend, what time does the curfew start? Is it 7 or 9?
It's 7 to 5, eh? I think we had it, yeah?
On
You
Friday.
remember for the holidays,
Yeah, I
last
don't
weekend
think,
it was
yeah. This is it, yeah. Watch your screen. You saw it?
9. Weekend 7. Okay, yeah, because it's on somebody posted on Facebook that they moved it to 9 o'clock on the weekends.
Well, we
So I
haven't,
just wanted to clear it up.
we haven't seen that, so if it changed, we'll know.
Okay, thank you.
This was posted today
On TTPS page.
All right, so weekday curfew hours 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Weekend curfew hours Friday 25th,
7 p.m.
Saturday 26th, and Sunday 27th, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. All right, so those are the hours that we are continuing with.
Yeah, but we could have it? Right, but hear what I say, Marlon.
Jackie, put it up again for us now while we speak.
The officer,
Because
the gentleman, I hear that he wants to go and work and all that.
Yes.
And I wish that we could start back this thing as soon as humanly possible. Marlon, this service has fallen victim to the 19th.
Yes, sir.
Probably more than any other service in Trinidad and Tobago to date, because we are a people-oriented organization.
Of course, but there has to be a way to
yeah, but
do
Marlon,
it.
if we are seeing things unfolding before our very eyes, then we mustn't close our eyes, you know. We got to keep it open to see what happens next. And I think at the time the commissioner made a decision to hold on the certificate of character because it was important to do that.
All right.
In order to save police lives, you know.
All right. All right. Okay. I'm not saying
So as
not saying it is a bad decision, but I'm just saying it cannot be suspended indefinitely.
Right.
And maybe the time has come where there has to be a discussion with the persons in the health sector to show you all how this could be done and in a safe way, and to provide you with if it is, we have to provide you with what they call these white suits and things. The what? Somebody help me.
What's
Nobody
that?
are watching at me.
What's that?
With these white suits, PPE.
Oh, yeah,
PPE. PPE. Maybe we need to do that. I'm just giving a suggestion. That's all. What are we doing now? We going, ma'am?
We appreciate all the conversation, but at the end of the day, we must secure our officers first. Yeah?
All right.
And nobody wasn't going anywhere, you know. You remember that the borders are locked up. Where's going? You want a certificate of character to go to Tobago?
The gentleman home for a year.
Yeah, I know that.
So what you're saying
we'll try to fix it. No.
It sounds good, but...
No, you remember now the place kind of open back, so...
Yeah, all right. We're coming back.
We hope that it will fix soon.
Hi, I'm Marcel, and thanks to Nirvana Weight Loss Clinic, I lost 69 pounds 3 years ago. Now I'm brimming with energy, glowing with radiance and self-confidence, and life has a brand new meaning, and I thoroughly enjoy my new body image. Thanks, Nirvana.
So, you've had to change things a bit for your business to survive. Now, you trade online with those who are online. But wouldn't it be great if everyone knew your business existed and how easy it is to access your product or service? Just think, what if more people were aware that your business now operates online? That's where we step in. Television advertising remains one of the most reliable and effective mediums of advertising and continues to be a leading source of information and entertainment for everyone. Now we understand the apprehension about even considering the cost of advertising, especially now, so we've worked that out. At TV6, we've also adapted to meet you along the way. We've simplified the process and made it affordable for every business to advertise with us. So contact us. Give television advertising with TV6 a try and watch as your followers online grow. It's a new world and TV6 is still here.
It's not a year. This is a year to prepare. This is not a year to just fold your hands and sit down and shut down.
Yeah, and do nothing.
And do nothing.
Yeah, I feel it.
It has to be a period of preparedness.
innovations too.
Beautiful, thinking outside the box.
Yeah,
How
I
do
think so.
we do things better? You remember when we stood here and said that the court things could be done virtually?
Even before the pandemic.
Even before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And persons at that time in the judiciary mind, you said, no, come on.
Yeah.
That can't be done.
No.
Are you all crazy down there?
Yeah.
What
I want
has
to see
happened
you
now?
all.
What has happened? This is happening every day.
Everywhere too.
Matters virtually.
You don't need to go away anymore to keep a meeting. You see? But yeah, I have one problem though, before we go to the thing. We talk about love for country and love for people, right?
Yes.
And this gentleman brought up a situation there that I recall. How much government institution accommodates a person who have a challenge and may have a dog that assisting them? Tell me.
Good point. Good point.
Tell me.
What I will say is that some very important information has come to me, to the gentleman who called just now concerning the certificate of good character.
What is it?
So here's what. Let's go to the persons of interest. Get your pen and paper. All of the persons who need these
in a hurry.
certificates in a hurry, get your pen and paper. When we come back from persons of interest,
All right. So I hope the gentleman's still watching.
Yes.
So get your pen and paper and hold on.
Yes.
All right, good. All righty then. I recall this yesterday. And as I said before, and I'm hoping that persons will take heed. And I'm hoping that households will take heed. Now, if you're going home and you just call before you reach, you ever thought of it? Call before you reach home. Do you have a code between you and your family member to know if something is wrong at the residence before you arrive? You ever thought of it?
Good advice.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of it? You're going home and let's say the wife or the husband is at home and you're almost there and you call and they allow the person to answer, and you all know there are certain things that you can say.
Code.
Yeah, codes that you know, hey, something is wrong.
Not no long code.
Not a long code, no. Not there are men in the house here with guns. It's not like that, eh? It's something you would
Keep
say,
your
and
eyes
you know
on the prize
you
in
all
the
would have
sky.
you all would have discussed this before. So one time the husband or the wife goes, hey, something is wrong. Let me call the police. And let the police accompany me. Or enters my home. I'm giving the police the keys to the gate and all of that, and let the police enter the place. You see? You have to think about these things because the criminal element continue to think. Yeah? And also advice, secure your belongings. Because persons walking, jumping walls, and taking things away. But on a more serious note, Marlon, I suggest that persons think about what I just said.
Yes.
Yeah? There must be a code. There also could be codes among neighbors to know when something is wrong.
Yes.
How much of us have purchased this air horn? How much of us?
That could be a good Christmas gift
Yeah,
for the neighborhood, you know.
Yeah, a good Christmas gift in the neighborhood. Because if something is happening at a home and the air horn go off and the neighbors know that something is wrong, they could start to hear the air horn too. And it could be the whole street. Everybody air horning the place.
Yeah.
You see? And this is what we are saying. How much persons have purchased the air horn? The other day I went to a man's residence. He called me and asked me for some security tips. All free, no, Marlon?
Really?
Yeah, I had no problem with that. I'll help the people. Hold on for Normandy. Stop Normandy just now. Don't shoot on. Hold on with Norman. Yeah, is that you? Right? So I went to the home and I told him, I said, listen, I hear I'm watching your security system.
Right.
But I like a siren to be placed to the furthest point of the house.
Yeah.
Almost to the roof, under the roof like, to the front or to the back of the house. So when that siren goes off, it is not difficult to disconnect. You can't put a siren by your door.
True.
They're going to take it off, man. You dig?
Yeah.
Right. So when the siren goes off, the neighborhood must be aware that something is happening. You see, I have no problem with
something
persons,
to wake up the neighborhood.
I have no problem with persons having fancy doors and things. Look at another thing I don't understand. You know you have these doors? Mm-hmm. Come to me, Jackie. Come to me here. Come to me. Right. This is a door. This is your front door. Your first line of security defense, right? Mm-hmm. And you put a glass door with a handle.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes no sense.
Yeah. Because you want style. Mm-hmm. That don't make no sense. Or even if you have an iron door and you put a glass right by the handle, what sense it make? It make no sense. Sometimes we need to, all the thing looking nice, of course, but that's all it is. It offers no resistance to persons entering your property. Let's go to Norman.
You know, back in the day, when we were growing up, maybe your grandmother or grandfather, they had a kitchen or something like that with these split doors.
Yeah. One above, one below.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had these latches on it, very thick latches. Yeah. You would be shocked to know how strong those latches are.
Yeah.
Very, very strong. Also, you know, the old bars, you know,
the big piece of board?
The big piece of board?
The big piece of board?
The big piece of, yeah?
You'll kick down with it.
You'll be shocked to know how strong
all
that is.
your legs trying to get out that door.
You can't come in there?
Can't come in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to go back to the old time days.
Of course.
Well, when I see this, the first thing come to mind is nothing, you know. Nothing ever come to your mind with this? Because this...
I haven't seen that video since it has come up.
This
I don't look at
here,
it.
Unless he's mentally disturbed, I cannot even understand why he would think that he looks like a woman.
Or is it a case the gentleman just didn't have clothes and he saw this and he put it on? It could be something simple as that.
Well, if it was me, I get a pin, right?
Yes.
And I take a pin and join the crotch area there to make it look like a pants. I cannot see, but Norman, is that you? You know that song, Marlon?
Yeah.
Yes, Norman, is that you? And I often tell members of the public, do not get caught up with this. Do not get caught up with this. You can call for help outside the residence. I will watch you from a distance and call the police and tell them, listen, there's someone outside my house asking for help. You have to convince me, together with that I can have you enter the premises, you see? And that is how I think. I don't know about you. And that is just being honest. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
All right, we must go to a very short break. When we come back, I'll give you the information you require. Let's go.
The hottest thing in flavor is finally here. Introducing the all-new Maggi Pepper Sauce. Get tasty with mild. Fire up the flavor using spicy with Shadow Benny. Or feel the flames with hot and spicy. Ignite your appetite with the hottest in Caribbean-grown fresh ingredients. The all-new Maggi Pepper Sauce. Try them today in hot and spicy, mild, and spicy with Shadow Benny.
Your eyes are your future. Protect them from blue light and harmful rays with complete single vision eyewear at $3.99. Fantastic savings on designer eyewear with progressive transition and anti-reflective lenses for $2,400. Designer frames with bifocal transition lenses $1,600 only at Seaview Optical.
Welcome to the Coastal and Riverine Patrol Unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Several months ago, the Coastal and Riverine Patrol Unit began to operate. The main purpose of this unit is to patrol the coastline and the rivers where our intelligence suggests that drugs, guns, and illegal immigrants enter. The unit will also assist the Coast Guard with patrols along the coastline of both Trinidad and Tobago. The unit will pay special emphasis on the number of illegal immigrants who are coming into the country. At the same time, the officers will also look at the legal immigrants who are fishermen, who ply their trade, and who come into this country to offload their fish and to purchase ice. These vessels are stopped, inspected, and searched by the unit before being allowed to proceed on their legitimate business. The unit also ensures that our citizens continue to remain safe while on the seas, and the public health regulations are observed during this COVID-19 pandemic. Look out for the official launch of the Coastal and Riverine Patrol Unit, protecting and serving you with pride.
All right, get your pens and pencils and paper ready.
And I hope the gentleman who called earlier is listening. Huh?
Yeah. All right, so emergency applications are being dealt with by the Commissioner of Police, right? You can write to him at all common letters, COP at ttps.gov.tt. So again, the email address is, you can write to the Commissioner of Police. Huh?
Emergency situations.
Emergency applications,
wow.
All right, for the certificates. So again, you can write to the Commissioner at common letters, lowercase, COP at ttps.gov.tt. All right. We're moving on.
All right. Today, as I was mentioning earlier, we had to bury another colleague. WPC Thomas' funeral was held today. Another victim of the anyhow, my love concern. Sometimes we watch things unfold from all angles. And as police officers, we have been falling victim to the 19 over. No matter how much we protect ourselves, the possibility exists that at a moment's notice we might come into contact with someone who don't want to stay home, someone who forget to quarantine, someone who's carrying the virus and he doesn't care, someone who's carrying the virus and he doesn't know, someone who's just carrying around the virus because of his behavior. We don't know, you don't have COVID-19 written on your forehead so that I can see it from a distance and run. We have to step forward, take charge, and sometimes the consequences is fatal. Understanding that, as the caller called earlier and talked about the certificate of character, it brings to mind this situation here, where this can happen to anyone.
No one is immune.
No one is, and more yet police officers. And not just police officers in Trinidad and Tobago. When you look around worldwide, police officers are affected greatly by this pandemic. Again, putting aside our selfishness, our intention is to serve the community, serve the people, serve our country. And if that means pushing back against crime during the pandemic, then what choice do we have? It's our duty, it's our responsibility as police officers to do. Some persons would hesitate. We don't. Sometimes with consequences. Yeah?
It only takes one slip, just one. And the slip could be as simple as taking your mask and having it as
Yeah.
the
Chin level.
chin strap.
You know
or
what?
removing it from the nostrils.
Yeah.
It's just a simple thing like that that could determine sickness or even death.
You know what we have never acknowledged on this program, Alan?
Mm-hmm.
The persons who have died, and not just the persons who have died. You know, I am learning within recent time that more than one person in a household have died to the COVID-19.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2, sometimes 3 persons, and we have not acknowledged that in any way. You know, eventually we might have to get pictures and show this 800 and how much persons who would have died.
Well, not 800 and something thus far. Eh?
Well, it's over here.
Well,
so
I
went
know,
to the
but
closest
it's
number.
700 and
I went
something.
to the closest number, Marlon.
Right.
It's 791, right?
Yes, 791. Right. All right.
Marlon, by tomorrow, what happened, boy?
Well,
if the average is 14, from what I have seen, the average normally on a daily basis is between 9, let's say 9. Because in any one time it's 14. The lowest we had is 7.
all right.
So we had like 14, 14, 14, 16, 14, 7.
All right, okay. Let's take a call, please. I do like them numbers. Caller, good evening.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I trust you all are well.
Yes.
2 points I just want to make quickly. One is, if it is, I'm not sure if it was ever discussed, but if it is, we could discuss the citizens' arrest.
Oh.
That, of course, I'm not sure if it was ever discussed, so I'm just asking. Second of all, Mr. Alexander, correct me if I'm wrong, but the motto of the TTPS is when you see something, say something, right? Right. On the curfew day, which would have been, I think, either Corpus Christi or that day, of course, you know, we had to be home at a certain time. A relative of mine saw something, picked up the telephone, called a particular station, I wouldn't call the station's name, and before the person could have given the explanation as to why or how it is they know that that person was breaking curfew, the officer, told them that that is not their concern. Why are they calling to report somebody breaking curfew? And subsequently, the person was hung up, my relative was hung up on at that particular station. Now, the person in question is a known, what you would call, how should I put it, without giving it out, a pest. And for the curfew, for those 2 days, he's always break curfew. And we called to give information, and that is the response that was given from the station. So I would just like to know, in a case like that, how do we politely move forward with a situation like that? And as I say, speak to where you have the citizens arrest, please. Thank you very much.
All right. While I'm not really an advocate for citizens arrest, because, well, no, with the pandemic, outside of that, I would say, okay, cool. Now, citizens arrest, it comes under the Criminal Law Act 1004. And it means that you, just like a police officer, if you have reasonable cause to believe that an an offense has been committed or about to be committed, you could detain somebody, you see? But, so especially now, I do not advocate for that at all. What I advocate for is for you to make the call. And you see, just how you call the station and didn't get the type of response that you're looking for, that's why we build partnership with police officers and other organizations. Take, for instance, if you had called the 999 system and passed it through that system, I doubt the officer would have told the 999 officer, mind your business.
Right.
You see?
Right.
Yeah. And that is important too when you work in particular areas. If you work in the San Juan Barataria area, get to know the senior superintendent, Mr. Maharaj. Get to know the superintendent, who is the ASP, the inspectors, because it is important to communicate with those officers to get things done. So sometimes you call the station and don't get the response that you're looking for. You can afford to build a personal relationship with these officers, and they will get the job done for you. Some of the officers don't even understand their role and function, sorry to say. Because if someone is telling you that they are seeing someone on the outside breaking curfew and you said, mind your business, suppose that same individual went and shoot a man that night, then you're investigating a murder, but then it is not the responsibility of the person sitting in the charge room to investigate the murder. It is left to the homicide. One of the things that we often forget, and I just always speak about daily, is our ability to prevent things from happening. If you intercepted that man, you could have prevented a crime. Simple. So let me apologize for that officer. It could be lack of knowledge, or the officer doesn't understand his role and responsibility. But he's sitting there. Yeah?
All right, we're going to have a very short break. We'll be right back.
You got that smile, oh, being down doesn't suit your style. Smile when it gets dark, smile to brighten up your heart, just smile.
Introducing the biggest flavor sensation to hit home. New Maggi Green Seasoning. Choose your bottled bundle in original, citrus, or spicy for that deep, down-to-the-bone flavor you can't resist. So perfect for meats, fish, and seafood. It's the biggest flavor sensation made with Caribbean-grown fresh ingredients. Try your bottled bundle today in original, citrus, and spicy. Maggi, the secret of great flavor.
Welcome back. Let's go straight to our line. Good evening, caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, gentlemen.
Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, so I have an experience last week. My husband and I were on our way home, just about three houses away from our house on a back street. A police vehicle pulled up on us. When they pulled up on us, we both had on our masks. No one was on the street. It's a back street. The street was empty. The officer said, "Why didn't you have on your mask?" To my husband. He said, "Well, I put on my mask to take a drink." By this time, I took out the bottle from it was a soft drink. He took it out from his bag. But when they pulled up on us, we had on our mask. She said, "Where is your ID?" He said he doesn't have one, and her response was, "So if I search you now, I wouldn't find an ID?" My husband got upset, and he walked off and he went into the house because we were just 2 houses away from home. She asked me for my ID. I complied. I learned from my father, who's an old police officer, comply and then complain. I handed her my ID. She proceeded to write, and I said to her, "Are you giving me a ticket?" She said to me, "You are the responsible adult." So she's giving my husband a ticket. And I asked her, "Where is your mask, ma'am?" And then the glass and the back pulled down, and the officer in the back seat said, "You are not to instruct the officer." And I said, "You are giving me a ticket, and you do not have on your mask." And I said, "What is your name, officer?" And she said to me, "It's on the paper." And she handed it to me. And that was my experience. I was upset. I went to the Rima police station to make a complaint right after. I don't want to get into my experience at that police station. However, they told me that they had no forms for me to make my complaint. That I should go to the Maloney police station to lodge a complaint on this very, very poor customer service as far as I was concerned. In any event, I have this ticket that was issued last Thursday. I looked at it, and it said that if I wanted to contest it, I'm just paraphrasing, that I would need to appear in the court, the virtual court, on Tuesday, which was Tuesday gone. I said in order to do that, I would have had to call the court on Thursday prior, which was the date that I would receive the ticket. So therefore, I could not do that. Needless to say, there's no answer on the numbers written on the ticket. The website does not come up. You get a 404 error. And when you call a police station to be transferred to the Professional Services Bureau, no one answers the line. So my question to you, gentlemen, what is the citizen supposed to do who has been wrongfully issued a ticket and has no way of actually paying it because nobody is answering the phone? What is the situation? Because as far as I am concerned, this is police harassment of law-abiding citizens. Thank you.
Okay. Ma'am, let me just, I hear the part, but I want to tell you this. You were going good until I hear the part about police harassment of law-abiding citizens. All right, I understand all the parts you said and how it went down and all of that. And to be honest, the officer, I would not engage anybody for a mass if I don't in possession of one myself. Not just in possession, if I don't have one my mask, I would not engage you. Because you might be putting me at risk, I might be putting you at risk. So what do you take it for? And that's my opinion. But if you think about it, it might be the right thing to do. Because you shouldn't engage someone. How can I go and speak to Marlon here? When Marlon came and said that, listen, he's going to put on a mask on this program, the right thing for me to do was to put on a mask also. Because he was right there, I was right there. So as police officers, we need to do that. And they are telling us, the Commissioner of Police would have told us, and the executive would have said to us, listen, inform your junior officers to have on a mask. When they said mask has become mandatory, they never said with the exception of police officers. You see? So, ma'am, I'm hearing you. And again, we probably would have dropped the ball where that is concerned. But then let me just say this part about the harassment. I don't want you to see it as harassment, ma'am, because we could never know if you are a law-abiding citizen. You could say that because it might really be so, but we would never know, all right? We sometimes have to carry out our role and function, our duties as police officers, and sometimes we find persons who would say they're law-abiding and they are not. I think it's a miscommunication between you and the police officer that amounted to that type of exchange or that type of feeling. Yeah? And I'm hoping that these things will be addressed in the not too distant future, because if you say that you're calling on the ticket and it's not being addressed, ma'am, that is no fault of ours. Yeah? We issue the ticket, but remember the ticket goes to the court system.
This is just getting murkier and murkier as we
speak. Well, Marlon, I'm hoping by the 4th of next month, things will start to open up.
For the lady, if it is that the lady wants to contest the ticket, there has to be a facility to do that.
It is written on the ticket, Marlon. If you want to contest, how much days you have to contest the ticket, and there's a system on the ticket that explains what you have to do.
So then what is the lady's position? You know what is the lady's position at this time? Hold on to the ticket. Next you know, a warrant is issued for the lady.
No, hold on. Marlon, remember the court system, many of the court systems are done only emergency cases.
Okay, all right.
Remember that?
So what does the lady do in the meantime?
Hold on to the ticket, ma'am. Hold on to the ticket. And as soon as the opportunity presents itself with the court, I think it's the 4th of next month.
Then would she be able to contest that ticket?
Well, then she have a reasonable excuse, Marlon. Not all
right, okay, all right.
You have a reasonable excuse.
Okay.
Because you could not have it done before. Huh? Because they would know that the system is done, Marlon. Come on.
Oh, you think so?
Yes.
All right. Okay, sir. All right. Thank you
but
for speaking for them.
The court is only taking emergency cases.
All right. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, CJ.
Right? So, ma'am, just hold on to your ticket. And hopefully when the court opens up, we'll make the announcement here. We'll tell you what to do next.
That is not sufficient for me, but we'll stop there for now. Let's go to a break.
You want to fight the court?
We're coming back.
As a new mom, there are moments of pride, joy, and doubt. Yes, doubt. Has he slept enough? Does she have everything that she needs? Will she be okay in the sun? These doubts come from love, for the good of baby. 2 servings of Nestum are full of all the goodness and naturalness of the cereals that your baby needs to blossom. That's one less thing to worry about. Nestum. It's all good, Mom.
Learn more online with Nestle Baby and Me.
Your eyes are your future. Protect them from blue light and harmful rays with complete single vision eyewear at $3.99. Fantastic savings on designer eyewear with progressive transition and anti-reflective lenses for $2,400. Designer frames with bifocal transition lenses $1,600 only at Seaview Optical.
I am Erla Christopher, Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations. In the TTPS, we have a number of our officers who have tested positive, and as a consequence, we have many who are in quarantine. As I speak, 2 of our officers have died from the COVID-19 virus. Clearly, we are not spared. As the premier frontline agency in the fight against the onslaught of the virus, we are charged with the task of ensuring adherence to the required protocols. We are vulnerable. We have to be alert. We have to be vigilant. The onus is on us to do all we can to safeguard ourselves and by extension our family and loved ones. I implore you to wash your hands, wear your mask, watch your distance, limit the power of the virus, embrace the invitation to be vaccinated. Save yourself, save lives. Please do your part. Vaccinate. Thank you, and may God continue to bless and preserve us in the TTPS.
Now, I realize that there are some issues with that the lady mentioned there, because she's saying that the husband walked inside and she got the ticket. So I try to understand what happened there. You can't give someone a ticket. The husband commit the offense and they give the wife the ticket. But all right. Let me also say to the lady, continue to engage the number you see on the ticket, unless the time would have expired and you are not able to get in. So I'm hoping that you continue to engage the number that you see on the ticket. Okay?
Let's take a call.
God.
Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Hopkinson, Mr. Alexander.
How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I've been trying to get onto the program for the longest while. Just to make a few comments. I want to start with Juve, which you all introduced in the conversation sometime this week. And I want to say that we must stop being a hypocritical society. This is my opinion. The product represents Juve, and we shouldn't be upset by that. That is what Juve is, whether we like it or not. So we shouldn't be upset by that. That's one. Culture. What we call culture in Trinidad and Tobago, because I was introduced in the conversation also, is downright disrespect and lawlessness, and we call it culture. Now, I remember a friend of mine telling me that a foreigner who came here on a visit, when she asked him, what was your fondest memory that you will take back to the UK of Trinidad and Tobago? And he said, yes, it was driving with a beer in my hand and breaking the traffic light, the red light. He enjoyed that. And he called that culture endorsed by the locals. That was his memory. That's what we call culture, lawlessness. I want to talk about the gentleman who called to have unmarked police vehicles traversing the highway to prevent this lawlessness on the roadway. Unmarked police vehicles is not the problem. The lawless drivers is the problem. Those are the problems. We have to modify our behavior and our attitude and show respect for the laws of the land. We don't need a police unmarked vehicle to be there to run us down, to tell us to be courteous on the roadway. And then the final point I want to make. Now, different people do things for different reasons. I'm not casting aspersions on what took place down in South with the hamper distribution. Maybe it's popularity. Maybe it's that. I hope it's not that. But in the context of hampers and distribution and charity, silently behind the scenes, officers of the Northeastern Division, the divisional office staff, went on a hamper distribution exercise 2 weeks ago, headed by Mr. Narain, Ms. Moje, and others there, in the depressed communities, identifying families, reaching out to them. Hampers in excess of 50. They went silently, didn't create the big bacchanal and furor that we see down in South there. They went there on a hamper distribution drive to assist the needy, a charitable event without the pomp and fanfare. They asked me not to mention this publicly, but I cannot allow that to go unnoticed.
No lines required.
Commendation to those persons who went about with that initiative. You know, achieving the objective without compromising the current status quo. So I thank you for the opportunity to contribute.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And address not fair.
All right, 30 seconds, sir.
Now you see, no lines required, eh? No lines required. Because I think during their patrol and other things, Marlon, they will see persons and identify persons and go to that person and say, hey, this is what we have for you. Instead of the long lines, you know?
We still have the billboard, ma'am, of the curfew that you can
put
pull
on
up?
the curfew then.
All right, I know.
Yeah, and thank you very much for your contribution, sir, as usual.
All right.
Okay.
Let me
Marlon,
just
this is
tell
what
you,
we have
so
over the weekend, eh? This
remember,
is what we have.
these are the curfew hours. So the curfew tonight, it begins in less than 4 minutes' time.
Marlon, I listen to this song every day, no? Hear this. Every day I listen to this song. Every day, no?
Repeat tonight, 11:30. The TV6 News comes up next.
Hey, every day I listen to this song, you know? The line excuse me. I wonder why.